Are you living a life worth being lived? When you look on your life in general, everything that you're doing is passive. When you wake up, you scroll on Instagram on the internet, which is passive. When you go to work or uni, you're just like going to work and working for someone else, which is very passive and just waiting for the day to finish. So, like, all your life is in general very, very passive. Like, you eat what people tell you to eat, you do what people tell you to do. All your life you're following a path, going to uni, having a career, then waiting for retirement. And when you recall on your life, you see that nearly never you take action of your own life. Like, why have you chosen to do this? Why have you chosen to do that? Is it really what you wanted to do? So are you really living a life worth being lived? That's the real question. You need to understand one thing: the longer you wait for people or society to provide you with stuff to do, the longer you're living a life not worth being lived. For instance, who stops you from going to the gym? Who stops you from learning nutrition? Who stops you from learning new skills? Why are you waiting for others, which is in general society and its institution like industry, companies, schools, to follow, to take on your life? Why don't you act on your own and on yourself, especially in our generation when we have access to everything on the internet and you can choose what you want to do? So the longer you're passive in your life, the longer you're wasting your time. Every time you're scrolling, watching YouTube, going to a job you don't like, waiting for money every month, every time you're doing this, every time you're not acting on your own. And you need to understand the thing that if you carry on living like this, you may miss your life, because this is not the life a man should live in the world. A man should be very active and should not wait for other approval. For instance, when you go to a bar, Wetherspoon, you see people sat down with drinks who are like 40, 50 years old, blaming societies. But there is like a famous book called Life at the Bottom, where like a doctor analyzed why some people are poor in the UK. And he understands that if those people are poor, it's not due to the society, it's due to them being in a loop of negative thoughts because they were waiting for society to provide them some stuff. But please keep in mind this sentence: the world owes you nothing. If you die tomorrow, the world still runs. If even if you of the one most influential people 100 most influential people die tomorrow, the world will still be running without them. So you need to understand that the real power is not me who say this, but it's the power to take action of you in your own life, to choose your own direction, your own trajectory. It's not the power of like what you're thinking of, money, status, and all this. Because when people say, "Yeah, I need power because I need money and power, then I will be free," if you see, it's like delusional, because they're waiting to have this status to then do stuff, because they're like pussies, because they're waiting this status to talk to people instead of them, because they are scared to confront real life. So you really need to understand that you need to do an active life, and don't wait for people to give you what to do and what you should do. And also, when you look at a life, just keep in mind like this: one life is only like 4K weeks. So every week that is gone, it's a part of yourself that is already gone. And when you look, since you're a kid, like you're like, okay, when I'll be 18 I go to uni, when I be 25 I get a career, when I be 40 I'll be at the top of my career, when I be 60 I will be retired. But why you should go to do this path? Why don't you do what you want to do? Like, first, just about nutrition, why should you eat junk food, party on Friday? Is it really what you want to do you really like it? And like I said, you have one life, so every week that is gone is like a week that you can never take back, and it's part of yourself that is already gone. So do not live like a passive way, and start to act on your own way. And the system has made you be like this, like very passive, and that's what they wanted to do. So I found like a meme on internet, which is from a French website, that shows that since you're a kid they want everybody to do the same thing. And what's funny is like you can see like a monkey, an elephant, and a dog, and everybody want them to do which is here, which is to climb the tree, but you see that everybody is different. So if you live this passive way where the society feeds you with what they want to feed you with, which is like junk food, waiting for the career, waiting for the 25 days off, the holidays, then don't think like it's normal that you will like undergo the what society tells. Like now with inflation, keep in mind that inflation is not for everybody. It's just for the people who really follow society. The rich men, the one who really take their own action in their own life, don't really follow the diversion of society. For example, I'll give you an example. Every European citizen or British has a passport that allows him or her to go everywhere in the world, but who you really use it? Tell me who really uses passport. So let's say there is a war in the UK. What stops you from taking a flight and go to, I don't know, the US or go to Australia to escape it? And when you look at past life, look people like we were from like real men who take action, like Napoleon on the left, and who said, okay, now I'm the emperor, to people who sat 8 hours in front of a desk and undergo what the manager tells him to do, eating junk food and waiting for the year to finish to take his bonus and then wait for the vacation. But it's not real life. And like Nicolas Nassim Taleb tells, there is three drugs nowadays: heroin, carbohydrates, and a monthly salary. Because when you earn like a monthly salary, you may have like no envy or will to make any more effort because you're in a comfort zone. But in fact, you're like no more than a slave. So please ask yourself this question: are you really living a life worth being lived? And also, when you ask yourself this question, do not wait for a solution to it. The solution starts from yourself. The fight is a fight against yourself. Every time you're like doing a passive thing, don't you have something in your inner body that tells you that you're wasting your time? So there is like no solution, because people like to say, give me the solution. What should I do? Should I do start a business? Should I start do this? No, no, no. The solution comes from yourself. There is no solution, and the solution is different from everybody. So just start to think, take a break, and then think about what you could do for your own self, and do not compare yourself to others, because each life is different, each case is different. And focus, and please don't waste your time. Like I said, life is short, only 4K weeks. And start to recall your life when you were a kid. Were you like this? Were you dreaming of this, the life you're living now, when you were like 8 years old, when you are like full of hope, and now you're like depressed with a lot of body fat and angry and hating your job, hating your life? Is it the life you wanted to do when you were 6 years old, 7 years old? But if you're now, it's the result of your action, of your passivity, of feeding yourself with bad things, bad food, bad information, bad people. That's those actions that led you to this bad life now. But just an optimistic version: life is short, but you still can change it now. So take action and start to realize what you've done before to avoid making the same mistake. Thanks for listening. And do not hesitate to contact me or reach me if you're interested in some like help from someone who is like nearly 30 years old and undergo like uni, the best uni in the UK, and now understanding like that the real fight, the real glory is coming from yourself, not from what society tells you, and that the real power is the power to take action in your own life. It's not the power of being like a CEO or having a lot of money. Like I said, who is the most powerful? The CEO who is fat and hating his jobs because he's waiting for the monthly salary, or the guy who managed to beat his passion of not eating junk food every day, or not watching YouTube, or wasting time? This is the real power. This is the real guy who is strong, the one who can beat his passion, not the one who is like a CEO who has like a lot of money. Because you could be rich like some stars, but you're like fat, or you're addicted to heroin or to drugs, and you're not strong when you have this. You don't have power of your in your own life. So how could you say that someone is powerful when he's addicted to drugs? Well, thanks for hearing.